Your silent branches rise again. To the roots.
Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero. Come closer. Where the shadows on your soul. Let it go. You don't run, you don't hide. You already lost control. Welcome to ground zero. Feel it. Hear the silence before you fall. Breathe in. One last breath, one last sound. I'm the echo in the wall. Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero. Come closer. Where the shadows on your soul. Let it go. You don't run, you don't hide. You already lost control. Welcome to ground zero. Feel it. Hear the silence before you fall. Breathe in. One last breath, one last sound. I'm the echo in the wall. Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear.
Hello everybody and welcome to Waylander Gaming as Waylander Gaming presents you Kalashnikov's Ultimate Clan Rumble. As we're heading into Erangel, it's time to get ready to rumble in the jungle. As the plane taking its southwesterly route, potential late drops around the military base. That could be interesting, but as we always speak about, actually, there's a potential that teams did not like to go there because the choke points coming across from the island is always and has always been problematic. But as you can see, the drops are coming out nice and early. It's time to release the Hounds of War. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into, I think, is it going to be Malta? Is Malta going to be that spot? The spot that gets us what we are looking for? MDR sticking into there for quite a while. It looks like Snipe Nation, also, they're deciding, wait a minute here. It looks like too many teams are heading towards Malta. Malta is reasonable size. It's not like the biggest place in the world. You can see the drifting across. It was like, wait, let's turn. You turn. Pashenki it is. Meanwhile, we're going to be heading off to Malta. And we're looking at Rise in the mix up against VXE. It's all about loot and shoot right now. It's all that quick timing. You gotta be able to get that loot as quickly as you possibly can, even though the rendering seems to be doing its own thing. What do you like it? R7 already gets a bit of a spot out onto one of the members there from VXE. So we understand that aggression in this early part, right? It depends if you dropped first. But you still got to strategize this. Drag's making his movement across. Do you like it with that rotation to safety? Wanting to go for the split here. As you can see, teammates are close by. And so they're splitting up the town of Malta across this one big road that runs through that. Honcho in the front line. The same with our Chinese soup symbol. I'm saying soup, right? It could be something else. But VXE, are they going to be going in for this, right? There was a moment of time where they did see Drags with some pre-fire. On to Do You Like It? Can he get this done, though? The chase is on. Drags is in a lot of hot water, gets the knock, but is now going to be surrounded. Can he escape? There's the knock. It should be a flash coming through as the team of Rise make it across. Meanwhile, Flowski from the other end wants to provide that extra bit of damage. There will be that opportunity to get the revive, but Honcho quite low. Still playing the front line, but needs to reposition. Fear had a medikit, so managed to get a little bit of health back up here. Honcho is saying, okay, look, I'm a bit low on HP. Let me take the high ground here, as they want to go defensive from the aggression to the defense very, very quickly with one of the Rise members, both Fear and his partner, making their way across. The Honcho and Do You Like It taking that high ground. They've been popping some pearls, as you can see there, thinking it's a little bit of a club, but no, actually that's a bit inappropriate. But anyway. Oh, the wraparound play from Traps has been on point. Now the chase is on. So Traps went for that early wraparound play. Now they want to try to get something done as Fear's been knocked. The chase is into the building as Fear is going to be surrounded here. His teammates are trying to get some amount of cover. It's just so many people being knocked all over the show. The battle is in the building. Oh, Honcho is next to fall. It's only Do You Like It who was on the outskirts in a separate building. Now could potentially be hunted down. So that could be dangerous for the Do You Like It? Oh, but he stayed up with the shotgun. Is he going to be able to get that blast? Yes, he does. He manages to get a flush, but he's in so much danger. It's just like the bullet can miss and still kill him. This is like the 1 HP moments in time. As the opportunity pops to the medikit. Is he going to be able to get anything done? He's still helped by slowly sticking. Oh, it comes down the staircase. Do you like it? How you like it? Retrial, on trial, and gets taken out. And somehow, Do You Like It is the one who went for the full-on clutch moment play here at Malta. Comes out on top. Sole survivor of the apocalyptic matchup. Yeah. That is most definitely a moment where you can put your hands up like that. My goodness. Meanwhile, B Coast from well, there's two Snipe Nation squads in here. They were in a battle against TFO. Fury in the front line. They would have provided that little bit of extra vision. Pika as well. They're trying to get the shots out. It's just one of TFO's members left alive who has to displace and get away from here. Welcome to the stream, Complex and Storm Gaming, as they'll be looking to see what happens with KS in this particular matchup. They've been doing quite well, to be honest, over the last couple of weeks here in the Ultimate Clan Rumble. So we will just take a look at where potential teams are, what clashes are heading anybody's way. Pretty big spread between the teams. I mean, it's granted it's still stage 1. Most teams are within the safety zone. It's only HJ on the outskirts of it. They went for the super early drop around the power station there. And now, could there potentially be... There is the side of KS that they were talking about. They were driving past. Who were they driving past? They were driving past Snipe Nation, who would have spotted them out, but opting not to go in because they went for the two. Actually, everybody's in the same vehicle. Ooh, I know that could potentially be a little bit on the dangerous side, but they head out, and will they spot out Do You Like It, who is quite a while away. They would have seen with the limited amount of loot that this place has been looted up. So potential action on the way, but it's going to be another 1v4 for Do You Like It, who could be looking at some real trouble right now, because it needs to somehow get out of there. I think he would have heard the vehicles coming through. There is the spot out, yes, so most definitely he has heard it. Nose is in a 1v4 situation. And it's time to reposition, get to a little bit of safety, but unless he's going to be going for that shotgun play that he's been using so effectively. Oh, there's the shots coming out into Do You Like It, who manages to get into the safety of the warehouse. But the warehouse is not exactly the most safest of places. There's so much of open ground in here that you can get wrapped around quite easily. Mr. Bombastic with the play, but I don't think they know quite that Do You Like It is solo. Right, that's most definitely not the case. But a pre-fire from Do You Like It, as there's the wraparound play coming through. Yeah, we need a spot out. Xylox, who takes a bit of damage. Snipe Nation side to the mix as well. This could be the saving grace for Do You Like It from Rise. Because now that means there's this third-party action is definitely going to be on the horizon. As we'll just take a quick aerial peek here. Oh, there's a little bit of a molly coming through. But two of the members from Snipe Nation, they're into the mix here. Hassan and Scroof. Once more, the shotgun blasts. It's Do You Like It, who has to try to keep that high ground play. Smoke has come out. There's a couple of nades being launched through from the buildings on the outskirts. As a nice positioning here from Snipe Nation. They've got that high ground advantage. Oh, but as we say, that Mr. Bombastic from range is hitting that fantastic kind of a shot. Gets the knock onto Scroof, who could be picked off by Do You Like It if he actually rotates a little bit towards him. But we're going to take a look at this high ground action happening here. Opa with that real high ground gets attack damage onto Zyrock. Mr. Bombastic also taking a bit of damage as well. And now this is going to be the real brawl happening out here. It's the nades coming through. Opa into the front line. He wants to try to chase this down. He goes in with a strafe jump. Can he get this done? Oh, beautiful strafing there. Gets a knock onto two. Knows Mr. Bombastic. He's coming through. Got the reload. Is he going to get another strafe jump into the mix? Yes, he does. It's three. This man is knocking them down like Skittles. He thinks this is a bowling alley. So two players, both Scroof and Blocks, have been knocked. It's eliminations aplenty here as KS were in hot water. Will we see Opa go for those full flashes? Oh, he does put it out! That's going to be that full team wipe. However, with the players being a little bit low, still, Do You Like It is quietly waiting. You know, patience is the name of the game when you're still solo. As I think it's Scroof who would have seen where he is. Yeah, he's got those nades ready. He's chucking them. Gonna summon the cavalry, and most definitely they know it's gonna be solo right now. Well, Complex, it'll be nice to see you in the next two matchups here. Once you get your replacements going, but unfortunately, KS got third-partied as they were going on the hunt for Do You Like It from Rise. Now the engagement, they're going for it floor by floor. You got the numbers advantage. They've got a reasonable amount of armor. Scroof is the one, I think, leading the charge towards the high ground, waiting for his teammates. Oh, no, it's going to be blocked. They're making their way across, but the shotguns come out. That's the cover-up. Nade was into the mix as well, and that's going to be Snipe Nation picking up 5. Which brings us down to, I mean, look at this, right? We're stage 1, minute and a half to go in stage 1. We're down to 6 teams. That's absolutely bananas. However, I always wondered why bananas is the fruit of crazy. Is there something maybe about the color or the shape that makes people think about craziness when it comes to bananas? Somebody invented that particular concept, but either which way, it has been crazy. It's been a very high octane start. And speaking of high octane, there's only been a couple of vehicle plays here, just using it for movement across the map. We know Snipe Nation do have their cars parked outside. We saw them using it to come back in. Pushenki is usually one of those places where we see quite a bit of action, as there could potentially be something going on. A Sandman with a definite spot out onto the second team from Snipe Nation. It's B Coast trying to go coast to coast with that. Just drifting around the outskirts. Maybe just use that to get a little bit of pre-fire so that they know they can spot out positioning. But Shadow R with that sneaky play on the outskirts here through the grass. Just wants to spot out everything, scoping around. Got the snipe ready. So he's going to need his teammates to cause a little bit of distraction. The 3 members from Team 20, Snipe Nation, they're all in the same compound, which could be problematic depending on the utilities available. As you can see, Shadow, he's got the high ground, right? So that means he's not going to be the one picking up the utilities. Though FSA a little bit low on it, I think, because they could have been using this particular moment in time to go in for that. Oh, but it's going to be Sam, who's taking way too much damage, somehow manages to get to church, you know, Sanctuary at least, and the opportunity to heal back up. And if you hear any destructive noises in the background, that's That doesn't seem like it should be coming from the street. Yeah, that's my cat. He seems to want to destroy the whole planet around him. Meanwhile, it's SN's Pika, who peeked out and got a knock onto Shadow R. So they do know that they're surrounded. Smoke cover is in there. Moby Cell wants to just make that movement across. But oh, looks like the vehicle play is coming through. It's definitely coming through. There's action happening elsewhere. But we're just taking a look at Fury making his way up the top. His shots through the smoke cover. This should be an elimination. Is Mobicel getting knocked? Fury in a furious state here. Wants to get the play through the cover. Can he get this done? That's the question. Sandman was revived. Oh, no, Sandman was knocked. Shadow R still knocked. Mobicel still knocked. Sandman within the building. Meanwhile, Snipe Nation continuing their engagements. There's a knock and a flush there onto Joey and Kylie from HJ. But we're just going to be following this action here as Peaky trying to make his way across into the church. They want no mercy within the church grounds here. This is not going to be the place of sanctuary. This is going to be a slaughterfest. Oh, but it's going to be Shadow who manages to get Sam who just manages to get that knock. But he's going to be taken down himself with a full-on flush. Fury, look at this. Look at this. He's going for the revive first before they take out Shadow R, who's going to try to crawl to a little bit of safety. He's like, yeah, giving me the opportunity. And then that should be that. But it's Fury who's going to get knocked. You waited too long. You should have went for the flash while you had the opportunity to. And that's what happens if you take too long. It's only Pika left alive. FSA on the hunt. They want to turn the churchyard into a cemetery. Pika just using as much vision as he possibly can get from the windows, now making the wraparound play, but has to get out of harm's way because this is looking a little bit scary, a little bit dangerous at this particular moment in time to be solo up against, I think, 3. There was another knock going, but the revives should be in there. Oh, nice play coming through from Pika, now going for the high ground. Opportunity here to be able to get those pickoffs. We did see Do You Like It to do some magical things there. It's a 2v1 situation. Pika just holding this high ground. They would have spotted him making the movement across the rooftop. So the question is, how will FSA strategize to be able to get something done here? They have some vehicles close by to be able to cross the distance. Shots do come out, so they know that Pika is here on this absolute high ground of the rooftop. We're down to 5 teams already. HJ was completely eliminated by Snipe Nation there. Sandman with the play. Is he going to be coming up the staircase? He's making that move. Oh, Pika had that opportunity, but did he let it pass? Now he's trying to go for the play. With that high ground advantage, he's going to get the knock. He's going to get the flush. It's going to be a 1v1 situation. Mobicel up against Pika. Mobicel, I mean, we know the cellular networks. Can crash and burn, but does Mobicel have it in his locker to be able to take this? He does get the peek out onto Pika. Is he going to go for the drop play? No, he wants to try to hold this because he knows there's in a lot of opening spaces through the roof as Pika dancing around. Mobicel, he's taking this opportunity, makes it up the staircase. Now the repositioning, and it's Pika with the timing. Takes out Mobicel, but Pika could be in even more danger. There's no rest for the wicked, as they say, as MDR here. What was going on? They would have seen everything. It's time for third party as MDR Street. Once you get across the street, they go for that high ground play. A lot of tag damage being happening as it's Kakashi from range. Uses that Sharingan eye and gets the pick off. We're down to 3 teams. This is mad. 3 teams stage 2. But they're very far apart, so, you know, it's not like they're going to be able to get into one another or into it quite quickly. But let's get to see. It's huge gaps between everybody. Snipe Nation are making their way out of the... Or rather into the play zone, into the safety space, right? It's stage 2, no EMP zone is going to be forcing anybody away or towards one another just yet. So it's a real question of trying to find where everyone is. Though I think overpowered here, oh, that's not overpowered, I thought it was overpowered. Onponekwa. Okay, you could clip that, right, as maybe the worst pronunciation I've ever made in my life. From TFO. Oh, the O is there. So, I don't know if that's part of the name or not, right? But anyway, either which way, is the one solo player here at Gatka. Pushinki is where MDR happens to be, who have a full team. The same with Snipe Nation, who picked up 9 eliminations as well in this big mix, right? They did do very well last week. And so, in terms of the point system, they should be on the leaderboard. And when I say should be, right, you know, you can't judge me. I should have been checking out what's going on the leaderboard there. They are heading towards Pushenki. But Pushenki is quite big, right? MDR is in Pushenki. I think they do suspect that something is cracking in Pushenki. As Opa just wants to get that little bit of vision. But I mean, look at the space between them. Outskirts of Pushenki. Will we see MDR be making that movement across here? As the vehicles seem to have their own interesting style of rendering. Makes it look a little bit like a ghost town. If only there was day and night. It'll be a little bit on the spooky side. So MDR were in Pushenki. Now they made their movement across. Snipe Nation were heading in there. It could have been a very early clash between the two teams, but now everyone is on the hunt for everybody else. It might be a huge bit of open space right now in terms of Action Central, and this is that moment in time, right? I'm sure you, those of you tuning in to watch, have a lot of experience. Personally, when I used to play this game quite a bit, it was in the early days, and there used to be a lot more players, right? I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of players now. There is, but when it was first introduced, I mean, there was like nowhere that was safe. It was just Action Central every single bit of the time. Options to escape just did not exist. But with that being said, right now, whenever you head into a situation kind of like this, right? It's a huge map. We're only on stage 3. It's ticking down to stage 4. Obviously, as the zone closes in faster and faster, they will be dragging each other towards one another. What's the strategy right now with these open spaces? I mean, you're gonna have to be careful, but how careful can careful be when you know there's so few players left? And well, it's everybody coming back towards Pushenki because, as you can see, the safe zone is there. Maybe it wouldn't have been the most favorable option to just... I think what I would personally like to do is consider where the play zone is going to close in. You're going to have to guess a little bit because we're still in early stages, right? But that means that if you can get yourself set up on the outskirts, as anybody tries to go in for the safety play, then you have that opportunity to do like what Snipe Nation is doing right now. They're sticking on the outskirts, knowing that the EMP zone will force people towards the center of Pashenki. So it's Opa with the pre-fire. Oh, but the knock from range. MDR Street was just waiting for that opportunity. We're looking at two very different strategies in the mix right now. As MDR are going for those vehicle plays. Kakashi trying to get his way up towards the high ground as Street is making his movement across. He drives through, will spot out where everybody is. Now it's going to be that opportunity to go for the wraparound. It's only been opened as knocked as the rest of its young blood into the mix. Gonna try to get the finish off here. His blocks takes a fistful of bullets. The nade is out here. Can he get the set? He's waiting for just that perfect opportunity to go in. But it's going to be a left or right decision-making choice. He held the nade, just misses out, but goes around the top, takes out blocks. And that's going to be another flush. MDR Street getting that elimination. Now it's just the two main players remaining from Snipe Nation, Hassan and Scroof. With the TFO still in the mix as well, but staying safe for the most part. I mean, that's what you're gonna do as a solo player. But he's here at Pashenki as well. He just drove past, and this could potentially mean that we're looking at a very, very, very early game, in terms of game number 1. Oh, but Kakashi gets knocked here. He's in a lot of danger. As he was trying to get to some amount of safety. His teammates are in there. The smoke cover should come out. Is this a little bit too far for a what a nade moment? There's okay, yeah. This is mortar range. Kakashi revived once more. 7 players remaining, 3 teams in the mix. Still into stage 4. Hassan and Scroof making the movement across. Are they going for that safe play? It looks like they are. They're rotating towards a greater degree of safety, knowing that when you don't have the numbers on your side, it's not so easy to be on the attack. It's better to be on the defense. So you need to get into a decent compound and then mount that defensive structure, as in get into position for the defense. Young blood with a low rider, unsurprisingly, getting the team a little bit closer. They want to narrow this gap. I mean, when you've got the numbers advantage, you don't want to allow the team to dig in, because if you're on the defense, you need to go for that narrow spaces and separate the enemy, because that's going to allow you to have the greatest advantage. Because it's not like you can go for a straight out battle here on the outskirts of the building. So that play from Snipe Nation could play in their favor. Could. But let's get to see. Airdrop coming through, as you can see that on the outskirts. Now the vehicle play coming in. Dre and Youngblood. The two G's. Or OGs. They're like, yeah, we're gonna style on this. We're gonna make the wraparound play. Using the warehouse. Now getting into the mix, though Snipe Nation would know that that play has happened. As we said, they got to go for the defensive structure. Hassan taking that high ground onto the rooftop. Youngblood has a couple of nades, so if he spots out movement on the second floor or even the rooftop, it could be an opportunity to chuck out some nades to be able to just create the opportunity or the opening for the rest of the team to come in for a rush play. Because I think that's what they're circling towards. It's Dre who makes that first movement across, but has to be careful now. Hassan on the rooftop, and this is a position like from this balcony, but the balcony is also a bit dangerous to try to do that. They've got the spread going. So the question now is, how are they going to be able to land those utilities? Because they're setting themselves up for the utilities. There's the first nade coming through, as we expected. It's Scroof who's going to be knocked. Hassan will be able to deal with something. But the rush play, immediate. Nade storm raining in here. This is going to be that play. Kakashi up into the staircase. Pre-shot coming through here. Can he get this done? That's going to be a quick double knock. Only Dre has been knocked, but they will be able to get the revive going. He walked into a nade himself, or actually a little bit of pre-fire himself, and now it's 4v1. And our solo TFO member, he's holding his ground on the rooftop and just waiting as patiently and as prone as possible to hopefully get a couple of pickups, maybe a full-on wipe. Who knows? Actually, it's still a 4v1 situation. Pushenki, the name of the game, or the city of destruction. The peaks coming through. MDR on the hunt. Stage 5. Last few seconds. 10 seconds and counting. This might force out TFO from this high safe ground. Not for a bit yet, as he is spotting a lot of players. He's got the vision on all of them, and definitely knows the numbers are not on his side. And so we begin the deadliest game of hide and seek in the world. Kakashi leading the charge for the side of MDR. Using that vehicle around the city just to try to draw out a particular bit of pre-fire because they don't have vision just yet in TFO. He's holding this. Now he goes for a bit of pre-fire, and the vehicle strat has worked to a certain degree from street. So it means they have vision, but they know it's going to be that high ground battle that's taking place. As TFO with the jump down takes a little bit of fall damage, but not too much. Most of that damage came out from the pre-fire. Goes in with a nade just in case somebody was trying to chase. Smoke is in there as well, but this is that opportunity where nades are going to be raining aplenty as TFO just trying to block off everybody heading their way through the staircase. Oh, but the nade comes through. He's trapped up here. He's surrounded. It's going to be the nade knock. Has the self revive, but the nades are just raining in. There's a play up the staircase. It's going to be Dre into the front line. And that should be... Oh, he hit it! What a nade! What a nade! Coming through. He does get an elimination, but it's going to be GG's as MDR pick up the winner chicken dinner. And with that being said, let's run through the scores very, very quickly. So MDR, Street, Dravy, Young, Blood, and Kakashi with 6 eliminations and the chicken dinner. 1 elimination goes the way of TFO in second position. Snipe Nation picking up 9 eliminations in third. The second Snipe Nation squad with 7 eliminations in fourth position. FSA 2 eliminations in fifth. 8J no eliminations in sixth. Rise with 4 eliminations in 7th position, KS no eliminations 8th, and VXE with 3 eliminations in 9th position. The best companion going the way of Hassan with 2 rescues, going all out to Opa with 5 eliminations. That triple threat finisher was on point, and Street with the actual finisher and the winner chicken dinner. With that being said, we're going to have the pause screen up and running as we will get lobby number 2, Murmur, up and running for you. We'll be back in just a bit.
I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always wait. Welcome to ground zero. Come closer. Where the shadows on your soul. Let it go. You don't run, you don't hide. You already lost control. Welcome to ground zero. Feel it. Hear the silence before you fall. Breathe in. One last breath, one last sound. spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the wall.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the wall.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall. lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine, every heartbeat's borrowed time. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the wall.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine, every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the wall.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine, every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. It's game number 2. As we head into Murma, and Kylie's deciding to sit out for 2 games. Sometimes it's nice to take a break, enjoy the stream a little bit. And though, when you're watching your team play, I'm not sure there's all that much enjoyment in it, because it gets very stressful at times. I mean, granted, not as stressful as playing, but the stress factor is most certainly there. As we have 10 teams in the lobby. Drops only early on from TFO, who used a very similar strat from the last game, going for an early drop and then delayed rotation into the safe zone or into the play zone. Los Leones is one of the places we do normally notice a lot of drops. Picado as well, and it looks like both KS and HJ are making their way across to Picado. We're just going to follow them through as they're skydiving. It's just a lot of open space right now. And some very colorful parachutes. Not gonna lie. And it's that very early loot and shoot strategy. As VXE's traps already gets a knock onto Scroof's, Snipe Nation Scroof's elsewhere. But we're just going to be following the action here. We'll try to switch between the 2 places. Hopefully we're able to cover all spots of interest. As Storm Gaming shouting out his compadres. And we know we can go a little bit Spanish with our sayings. We are in Murma. After all, but it's not like I know much Spanish. Or any. Need to watch more TV, I think. So, KS on the opposite end, as a Joker just looting up the top floor. Both teams will know that they are in close proximity to one another. And so that means there's going to be a bit of a timer. An hourglass where the sands are dropping down here in Murma, in this dusty plain. And when I say that that's going to be the case, because it's about looting as quickly as possible so that you can get the advantage. And then you have to make that big decision as to how you're going to set up for this engagement, right? It's Princess, as you can see from team number 8, HJ, on that front line, whereas the rest of the team from HJ, they look like they've been picking up some snipers, so they want to go for the high ground play, maybe use Princess as a little bit of bait, as princesses sometimes are, especially in fairy tales. Will KS take the bait, though? That's the big question. Because they've got to make that decision as well. There's no vehicles in play for them to go for a rush, but a movement just yet. But Complex and Flex making their way across. What could be a Wild West shootout between Princess and KS. They need to be a little bit patient, though. Princess, realizing this could be dangerous, decides to hightail it out from here and reposition to where their teammates have decided to get the lockdown on space. But that movement might have given KS a little bit of, that's the vision. They spot out Bucky, who takes a bit of tag damage in there. Gets that opportunity to get to safety, though, but is making a more aggressive rotation as we take in a look at this. Princess and Joey leading the charge as they've closed this gap down. Are they going to try to cross in here? Because right now, KS have set up in a bit of a defensive structure, and they want to use the utility to their advantage. Princess takes a nade and gets knocked. Bombastic with the knock, but can they get the finish off here as a Princess is crawling back to some amount of safety? It's going to be a double knock happening as both Joey and Princess, who were leading the charge, are now in trouble. Mr. Joker on the high ground, he was hoping to try to draw some or have his teammates draw attention and be able to get the pickoffs there with a sniper, but that might be a plan that's will have to be readjusted. potentially readjusted because, you can't get the pickoffs if KS make a rush play as it's Legion who's trying to cover that distance down. Joker is on that high ground as we know, but Legion not being hasty, just holding that line as Joker is the one that's going across here. Should be able to get the revive. Meanwhile, Bucky with a bit of fire. It's going to be a big dance happening around here. Flex trying to get that play inside here. Flex gets the knock. That's going to be probably the first flush. Or, actually the second flush of the game. We've already had one player taken out here. And so now it's Princess and Joey who has been revived. And Joker as well. Now the chase is on. Mr. Bombastic from that high ground goes in there, gets the knock onto one. He's into the building, cleaning house. And that's KS with quick 4 kills very, very early on. Meanwhile, we head back to this battle between VXC and Snipe Nation. And this was around, I can never for the life of me pronounce this name. I think it's Chimasera. It always reminds me of some fishing terminology. So, maybe they're going to go fishing in this as VXC with the high ground play. Trying to keep Snipe Nation on lock in here. Scroops was the first elimination, I think, as they went for that early drop. As VXC just holding that high ground positioning for the most part. But it does present Snipe Nation the opportunity for one of their players to get out. Maybe pick up a vehicle, come in, get the rest of the team, and then go for the wraparound play themselves. Because, that's what I think they're possibly thinking of right now. But they've got a big spread between the players inside the city. And as it stands, it will be a bit of a stalemate in terms of what we expect to happen, because neither team this early on, we've still got 5 minutes to go, or just under, for stage 1, will be wanting to be overly aggressive. As you can see, they're just moving around, trying to get vision of one another. This is almost like a game of Simon Says, to see who's going to be making the first movement. Elsewhere on the map, if we just take a quick glance at it, there was a huge spread between the teams. So there's potentially SN heading towards the second SN team heading towards San Martin, just crossing past the power grid. That could be a potential bit of action, but we'll keep an eye on that because the power grid is close by. They might want to go and get some loot up in there, as FSA are also making a movement outside San Martin to Hacienda del Patron. We could be watching these two teams clash with one another. But right now, as we said, it's the Simon Says game between VXC and Snipe Nation. Holding position. It's who's going to be breathing first. But let's take a look very quickly, because we could be seeing a potential clash here between Fury, Crisis, Bikos, and Pika. They would have driven straight past the FSA players, knowing that they're in there. They went for to park with a bit of safety, as they have all four within the same vicinity, and they're using the cover of the walls just to move across as a unit. Oh, and they do get the spot out here onto Dexter, who gets knocked. Pika with the aggressive movement. But do they realize that FSA have a 2-1 split going? I mean, a 2-2 split going. That's the question. Is Fury with the wraparound play, manages to throw a beautiful nade in there, gets the knock. Dexter is low. Shadow R is in hot water right now. Fury, will he make his way into the compound? Oh, okay, Pika is in there as well, as they're just searching away. So the 2-2 split, not as effective as FSA would have hoped. They've got a knock and a flush against them at this moment in time. And the rest of SN are on the hunt now. They're looking to see what's going on here. And it's going to be Moby Cell that's going to be caught out as well. as it's a Crisis and B Coast from range. Sam MC is quite low. Might not have the resources, but Shadow R for the most part, right? Nobody's found where Shadow R is. Shadow R is okay. Now they found out where Shadow R is. He's as safe could be, but until there was that pick off, and it looks like Sam is trying to hightail it as Fury and Pika make the play towards the compound. They don't realize that Sam went for the cross play. Very sneakily done. He went across there and should be able to get the revive onto his teammate. Well, how effective will this be now as Pika is once more making his movement across? Mobicel has been revived. Pika in towards the mix now. Here's the sound, spots out some movement as well. It's all a question of trying to get in towards the high ground. Because as we can see, FSA trying to control the staircase. They're making a choke point for themselves. But with the numbers disadvantage, it's a question of utilities really right now. As Pika just peeks up the staircase. Now they're moving in like a crack unit. Heading in through these narrow spaces, but you gotta be careful of the nades that could potentially come through. There's a shot onto Pika here as Mobicel with the prone position, but B-Coast, he's dishing out the damage, dancing around there. B-Coast with the double. And with that, Snipe Nation, second team, managing to pick up a couple of kills. Now, it looks like patience has worn out from VX and Snipe Nation. They're going at it. It's 2 eliminations here for VX. Retrial is a little bit low. It's Opa and Blocks who are going to get trapped out, as Traps is the one making the movement across. Goes for a nice jump into cover. Switches to the shotgun. Going to be leading the charge. Has to be careful though, because Opa is waiting for such a maneuver. Through the window. Through the door. Drags. Could be heading off straight towards where Opa is. They're close by one another. He can hear the footsteps coming in from the left-hand side. Trying to reposition. He spots out Opa. Now holding that moment in time, which wants to go for the fire. And he timed it beautifully. Gets the flush there. And that's going to be just one left. It's only Blocks left alive. As now the chase is on. Blocks is going to be hunted out here on the high ground, but has control of the staircase and the second floor. Oh, goes in for some pre-fire, but they're waiting for that moment in time where it was the bullets run out, and VXE, their patience paying off as they manage to secure some quick fire kills. But meanwhile, it's going to be MDR heading in towards Picado, where KS are already in position. Do they know that? No, that's the question. There's the pre-fire coming through from KS, who are on the high ground street, just getting to the safety across the streets. Kakashi is the one closest to where KS is. Flex leading the front line there up against Kakashi, with the rest of KS going for that high ground play. They've been holding that territory space around Picado. As we're watching, oh, there's the movement, there's the knock onto Kakashi. Flex in beautiful position, gets the knock, can't get the flash, can't get the elimination just yet. As the rest of MDR are coming in to provide a bit of cover, play zone takes down AK's Rain the bot. Meanwhile, oh, Flex tried to make that pick off, but they were waiting for it with the side of MDR. There's a lot of cover, so they can't really get the plays coming through KS from the high ground because of the building cover that MDR have. So it's going to be a knock for knock, but there should be revives aplenty going on. But Flex, he's playing very, very, very dangerous and aggressive playstyle. I mean, you need that to be able to draw the team out so that your team can use the strat that you are going for to your advantage. Kakashi up to full health. Flex in a lot of danger. Is gonna get knocked. This should be a flush. There's no real way for him to get to safety. But oh, there's gonna be the cover being provided by Legion as Flex is trapped up here. I'm sure KS have a couple of vehicles. Will they rush down to try to get to Flex? That's the question. As we can just hear that overhead plane moving across. It's going to be a potential drop coming through. The airdrop. Dre making that movement across, using the windows there for cover. Will he be able to pick up Flex, who's trying probably not to even breathe right now? Would spot out where Flex is, right? Managed to make that movement across. If he turns around, he's going to see where Flex is. There we go. And Dre gets that flush. And we're down to 7 teams, but the rest of KS, like we know, have that high ground advantage. If we just zoom back a little bit out, we should be able to get them into our shot. Oh, nice nade coming through here. But all 3 camping out on the sand dunes. Outside Picado. They want to land a nade storm onto Dre, who was the one in the front line. But looking at the rest of MDR, going in for the deep wraparound play. Youngblood with a high ground knock. And all of this is just to buy time for the wraparound to happen. Because now this could be like, as you can see, Legion does sense that something is happening as Street and Kakashi are the ones making their way across. They would have heard the sounds of the vehicles as it's Kakashi, Street making their movement across. Street in the front line. Kakashi going for the side play in here as they're trying to squeeze them out. That's Mr. Bombastic. That's Complex. Bombastic absolutely low. It's Complex is still surviving somehow. Shotgun out from Kakashi. They do have the advantage. It should be a couple of nades coming through there. That's going to seal the deal, or potentially seal the deal. Streets goes for that Dre as well. Shotgun strafe jump onto Complex. It's Legion in a 1v2 situation. Through the smoke gets taken out, and that's going to be a molly to finish it off. As that will be another full team wipe that we get to see MDR picking up the kills there on 2 KS. Meanwhile, AK, they did lose one player. I think it might have been a DC. Yeah, it definitely was a DC to the play zone. So sadly for them. They're up against VX, but have the positional advantage, at least for the time being. Retrial with the wraparound play. Drags as well, as they now want to circle in and corner out as Miles gets into the vehicle, but that's what they were waiting for. Shots being fired. Miles taking a lot of damage here, but does have the mobility to escape, heading off towards where Maestro is. Oof. Capsizes the vehicle, but gains the opportunity to use a medikit. So far, so good. Murmur has been churning out the action, not as intensely as it was at Erangel, because we know Murmur, the map, the play styles, very, very different. There are teams that perform excellently on Erangel, maybe not so well on Murmur, because the strategies are quite different in terms of what teams train and practice towards doing. Trial spotted out here by Miles, was trying to get some a bit of tag damage, but couldn't land it with especially with the movements being as quick as they were. Drags on the high ground now, providing that eagle eye vision for his teammates, and the potential to launch some nades in here as well onto Maestro and Miles, who are going to be swarmed in as Traps is now making the play across. He's gotten out of the vehicle. Drags providing that high ground advantage. Traps trying to close the distance in here. Maestro into the compound. Will we see this? Oh, the timing! Shotgun to the face from Traps as he's now on the hunt for Miles. Going in here. Will we see this? There's a nade coming through, but the shotgun from range from Traps as he gets a double knock. And the setup should be in there as well as Lucha 77k is into the mix. Maestro has been taken down. It's just the one player left from AK. Lucho 77k still around, and you can see very much from range, throws out that spray damage through that small bit of cover, but has given away position as the EMP zone is closing in. It is stage 3, so it starts to not just tickle, but it's got a bit of a pinch to it, some sting. It's a little bit of chili powder into the mix. So Lucho has to be making that movement across. The same with the VXE, who are now in the midst of the stage 3 EMP zone. And with that, that's going to be complete repositioning. However, TFO were in battle with Rise from range. There was a knock, but this is a ranged battle here, so opportunities to get the revives are definitely there. This is that fight across the mountaintops. So it comes down to a question of who's the better sniper in these situations. But TFO deciding to, based on the fact that we are in stage 4 and it's 2 minutes to go before we hit stage 5, deciding to go for an early rotation just past power plant, but Razor and Zero aim just drove straight in towards where Street is. Razor has been knocked. Now there's some tag damage happening as well, our second place finisher trying to get something done to try and get the pickoff onto Street, who was in the front line as the MDR came in for a little bit of third party action. Meanwhile, MDR's Kakashi just in zone, in point up against Rise. Dre was knocked, but they did get one in return. So now it's a 2v2 situation because Street is the one trying to deal with all of TFO, with the remainder of Snipe Nation making their movement across. Nice nade coming in from Youngblood. Kakashi drawing fire, but do you like it? Is somehow managing to survive. This is Hancho in that high ground position, trying to get the lock on here. Gets a lot of damage onto Youngblood. There's this strafe jump coming through from Kakashi, but it's going to be Snipe Nation who are coming in for that third party action as well. This is going to be deadly right here. They are across that mountaintop, right? So it's all about making the movement there. As Do You Like It should be eliminated, but the chase is on. There's going to be the kill coming through as a Hancho now in a 2v1 situation. Youngblood and Kakashi have managed to heal back up. But Snipe Nation, they can hear the shots, but they know that making their movement across might be a little bit too big of a bite just yet, because they're not sure about the numbers. Molly's coming through here as they want to force Hancho out of that high ground positioning, because that staircase in this particular compound is quite narrow. Oh, Kakashi, lovely timing through the window. And that's going to be MDR with a couple more pickoffs. They did lose just Dre. Street's still up and running, and he's repositioned to safety away from what was going on there with TFO, who could be now in danger from VXE, who are heading across. As well as AK's Lucho. Traps does spot out MDR in the compound, spraying shots from range, and has a large degree of safety. But once more, this EMP zone really ticking down here as we're heading to the final 15 seconds of stage 4. It's stage 5, and the EMP zone is at everybody's backs. So this is going to force 3 teams all towards one another. And straight towards MDR. Traps did see where Lucho is, and and would have realized that Lucho is solo. Meanwhile, Flowski tried to make the play, but Krita has been on point with those snipes right throughout the course of this match. Gets yet another knock, but the question is, can you get the flushes? That is the question. Oh, but TFO now have been caught out by MDR, who are on the prowl as Aim Zero gets the flush onto streets. But it's going to be Snipe Nation now making their way across as well. Opportunity to revive. The hunt is on MDR, caught out in the midst of this third party. And it's going to be Crisis picking up a double. We're down to the final 4 teams remaining. It's just seconds to go as stage 5 will start to close in. Teams will be forced towards the outside of Power Grid. And that territory is quite open. Quite open and a little bit on the flat side. But so far, it's 15 seconds. The movement now, this is the time to be making those decisions as to how you're going to be making the movements across. Vehicles are the name of the game, but as we said, the space that you're going to be making a movement across towards is very, 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 very open. As the entire Snipe Nation are in one vehicle, so they're going for a high-risk play here because of the timing. It's just one well-timed nade could be it for everybody. Potential full team wipe. I think they're thinking the same thing themselves. They're like, wait a minute here. This is looking a little bit deadly. Now the EMP zone will be ticking in. It's stage 6. This will be forcing players across. As we said, it's going to be this fight towards a little bit more of the flattish space. There is some cover being provided, which VXC have, I think, the control of. Because this is the spot. It's right here that the EMP zone is going to be closing in into this particular space. I mean, it's about as flattish as you would expect to see from a section of map in Murmur. Lots of pre-fire happening, but right now the space is still there and available. So we could potentially see some wraparounds around the very edge of the play zone. As Snipe Nation are thinking the same thing. They want to use the nades and smokes to their advantage to try to get closer to where TFO happens to be, who are returning fire with those nades. But it's a dangerous game here. You're gonna have to be careful because this EMP zone is tightening in. Drags managing to get elimination onto TFO. There's one player remaining. Oh, and that's going to be the next elimination. Retrial getting the pick off there. And so it's just 3 squads remaining. So it's a 4v4v. Oh, Crisis gets knocked as he made his movement across. And this is dangerous locations. As it's 15 seconds to go. They're going to need the smoke cover. They're going to need the vehicles to come into play as well. It's about which team is going to be able to get into position. Fury is the one who's going to drag that vehicle across. He needs to pick up teammates as quickly as possible. Crisis is quite low. Low enough to be very, very scared of being caught out in the midst of this EMP zone. As the entire Snipe Nation now to safety. Going to be using the very edge of the EMP zone. They spot out Lucho. Can they get the flash onto him? He's making a play across that open space. That's going to be him taken down now. It's a 3v4 situation. Oh, but Flowski with the play across. He's in so much danger, but he's managed. So I don't know. This man is like a cat with 9 lives. Though I think he must have used 8 of them in that play across. for that run across. Could be caught out now, but as we were saying, this is about as flattish as you're going to get to see in Myanmar. There's just that huge bit of open space. Once we hit it's going to be right here, right? Just in between this. Oh, Crisis gets knocked again, but Fury is there for the res. The rescue is there. The rescue mission is set and ready as VXC now making the rush play across. They want to try and cover as much ground as they possibly can, as they do manage to get the flush onto B Coast. Now it's going to be a bit of action happening in here, as Drags has been knocked. Retrial to the front line. Crisis gets the knock onto him as well. B Coast and Fury trying to crawl to safety. Krowski is there to try to get a bit of cover up into the mix. This is going to be tight. Who's going to be taking this? Crisis up against Flowski, and the match has ended. VXE were the plays. And they managed to pick up 11 eliminations and the winner chicken dinner. The Snipe Nation squad of Fury, Crisis, B Coast, and Pika, finishing second with 8 eliminations. AK in third position with 1 elimination. TFO fourth position with 1 elimination in fourth. MDR picking up 8 eliminations in fifth. Rise with 1 elimination in sixth. KS 4 eliminations seventh. The second Snipe Nation squad in Lobby B, Blocks, Groove, Hassan, and Opa, no eliminations in 8th. FSA, no eliminations 9th, and HJ, no eliminations in 10th. We're heading into the stars of the match. It's going to be Traps with the going all out 5 eliminations. Fury with the best companion with 5 assists and 2 rescues. And as we got to see, Traps with the finisher there as well. He just clutched it out for his team right at the very end. With that being said, we're going to be heading into game number 3. It's Rondo, the very exciting Rondo, but we're going to have our pause screen up and running while we have the lobby set. So while you're at it, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe in.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosshairs steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosses steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosses steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. Neon lights on a loaded night. I can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always win. Welcome to ground zero.
Come closer.
Where the shadows on your soul.
Let it go.
You don't run, you don't hide.
You already lost control.
Welcome to ground zero.
Feel it.
Hear the silence before you fall.
Breathe it.
One last breath, one last sound.
I'm the echo in the world.
Sweet lies dripping from your mouth, but I see through every doubt. Crosses steady on your spine. Every heartbeat's borrowed time. can smell your fear in the smoke and fire. One step closer, no alibis in this game. I don't miss, I don't get tired. Every move you make is wrong. Every second I grow strong. You feel it crawling in your skin. This is where I always wait. Welcome to ground zero.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this. Transition that a little bit incorrectly. We're in Rondo, and well, we've got two planes this time round, and two planes and usually one location, which is New York's factory and test track. Though a lot of teams dropping early, are they actually going to go for this this time round? We've seen everybody head in this direction for the most part, right? Or rather, most of the time. The question is this really going to be the case? Especially with the way everybody is heading off right now. There's the second plane, I think, dragged a lot of teams out from where they would have expected to be. As this very deadly rooftop is getting itself ready and set for even more action. We have just 3 teams here at New York's factory. Razor has been spotted out. In the bot making that play. Because you can be super aggressive with all the res stations. Miles gets a knock onto Street. Street is going to be taken out of the race. I mean, the revives are still there, right? So, you know, nothing too major just yet to stress about. At the same time, interestingly enough, we've got a couple of teams at Lu Yin. Which is not something we often get to see. So AK's Maestro. AK doing very, very well at this particular stage. I mean, they picked up 2 eliminations already, both onto MDR. This is the map where you really do try to cover up points. Zero aim being spotted out here. It's taking a lot of damage. As Rain the bot is making a movement across. Maestro providing a bit of cover. Meanwhile, Princess, there's action happening everywhere you can turn at this moment in time. I mean, we are focused on New York's factory, but we'll try to switch across to action happening elsewhere. Because right now there is a bit of a split between everybody, and it's, well, the entire of MDR has been rezzed. Let's just see where else the action is taking place right now. So the rezzes have happened. Though we are watching this battle between KS and Snipe Nation. They've, I think it's a 2-to-1 exchange going on here, with Legion the one making the movement across to get the team revived. Or resurrected, rather. I mean, that second plane was quite interesting. The fact that it came across and obviously chose a completely different flight path. We normally expect, you know, as per usual, this huge skirmish to happen in New York's factory. As it was, I think the winner of this particular skirmish, or skirmishes, was AK, who picked up 3 eliminations. And still have a lock here onto Kakashi. They're trying to find where he is, but I think Kakashi is should be on the high ground. Here on this particular part of the map. Just holding position for the most part. Knows that there's still a res available, so there's not really any reason to be too panicky about it. Meanwhile, Pika manages to get a knock as well. But it looks like, oh my goodness, KS, they're really trying to put the screws on here onto Snipe Nation. Oh, I think already used those reses. Scroof has been knocked. Bombastic taking a lot of damage from that molly. That was well timed. Yeah, Ethan now on the hunt, trying to get in here. Complex is going to get knocked. Complex taken out. As only Mr. Bombastic are still safe for the most part on this high ground. Legion's been spotted out. Ethan doing a lot of damage. He picks up another elimination. He's gonna try to chase down Mr. Bombastic. Okay, he does get it as the health bar did tick down. And now it's just Flex who very wisely chose to exit. We try to hunt out there's Flex. Yeah, it's very, very wisely chose to exit. That was like, okay, this is not looking like it's going to play my part. Meanwhile, AK is still on the hunt for Kakashi, who's somehow managed to stay as safe as possible for this. We're actually in an EMP zone now, as we know, that can disrupt things to a certain degree. Meanwhile, VXE in a battle as well. Let's get to see where that is happening. Oh, there it is, up against previous Chicken Dinner winners. The knock here onto B Coast is trying to crawl to some safety. The silos are close by to be able to provide that. It straps from the high ground as VXC sort of spread out. And they have, as we've seen them do quite often, use this vehicle strategy high ground play to wrap around and come in. And now there's the chase onto B Coast. As Strap senses that this could just be a perfect opportunity to walk up and get an elimination. Drives through just to one circle just to be safe, but should be able to get out and get that flush. Got the shotty. Looting up. Gets the flush. And with that, was that the entire team? Yeah, it was. Oh, now there's going to be the battle going on at Neox factory as the rest of MDR have made their movement across. Miles has been knocked. Rain the Miles has been flushed. Rain the bot is in trouble as well. Has been knocked as AK's Maestro comes through clutch just to be able to save the teammate. But Dre with the play up the staircase. It's going to be a double knock here if they can pick it up. Miles managing to be rezzed, and they should be able to res the rest of the team, as you can see. So we still have 10 teams up and running and available, though there has been some double eliminations. We're down to 35 players. As stage number 1 will be ticking by slowly. It's SN's Opa who managed to get the res for his team. But now VX heading towards Yulin. Have spotted out Snipe Nation, team number 6. Still quite some time to go within the stage 1 zone. Scroof making his movement across will be spotted out, but Flowski opting not to give position away just yet. It's all a question of timing, but I suppose as long as you haven't been eliminated already, you can be somewhat aggressive as, there's going to be Drags who manages to get the knock onto Ethan, who has been quite strong, and gets the flush as well. So that repositioning play coming in through from Drags, VXC using the vehicle strat here very much to their advantage. Now it's Straps coming through, and then he throws out a bit of pre-fire and is going to be making his movement across, and then that just gave opportunity for Drags to wrap around and get the knock and flush onto Hassan. They're hunting them down one by one, but Opa still on the map, right in that far location. And as you can see, VXE focusing on using this vehicle strat the way they have. Scroof trying to make an exit maneuver, but has to be careful. It doesn't want to give any amount of vision away. Knows is in a very big numbers disadvantage, but the drops coming through from Hassan and Ethan. The 3-1 split is the way to go, right? We all know that. On Rondo. But VXE just circling like sharks with that particular strategy. Will they be able to get Scroof? That's the big question. I don't think they have any idea where he is. Because, I mean, Yulin is not exactly a small space. The decisions as to where Scroof is going to be hard. And Scroof, as you can see, right, very central. And with in that prone position, won't be giving vision away. We'll just be able to get pickoffs as is necessary. And at the same time, it will force some teams out of the mix. Meanwhile, KS in a battle here up against HJ. Complex has been eliminated. However, the players of HJ are caught out in this open space. But VXC would have heard the shots coming through, and now they're coming in for some potential third party as well. But the 2-2 split as the rest of HJ is making their movement across on the other side. But there's also trouble brewing from VXC coming in as well. And now the chase is on. And that's going to be Flowski getting the knock onto Joey. Bucky in a lot of trouble as well. This is going to be a double knock. But there's Flex into the mix. Can he get the flush? Yes, he does. You know, the third party is being third partied. But Flex is in a lot of danger. He has to get cover behind the car, but he's going to get knocked himself. The molly coming through here as Flex trying to hope to survive this. He's going to get eliminated now. VXE on the hunt. They want to make this movement across. Drags has given that vision. Oh, but it takes explosion damage from the vehicle. He's going to get knocked. The revive is going to be potentially there from his teammates. As the rest of KS are taken out of the equation. We're down to 8 teams now, who are reasonably spread. However, HJ have head off into the same direction where Scroof was, but Scroof has already repositioned. Is this a DC? No. Possibly. Doesn't show a DC. But the team has departed that particular position as we were watching Opa making his way across as well into the safe zone. I mean, it's still early stages, right? It's stage 2, so no one will be panicking yet in terms of play, but there's going to be a spot out, I think, from Rise. But Hassan and Opa are separate vehicles. Will we see them stop and then get themselves into position? Or are they just going to try to make the beeline towards the center? As it looks like everybody's making the beeline towards the center. But if a wraparound play around the edge of that EMP zone, as they're waiting to sort of form up as a team and then make their movement across, they do want to head off towards the center, or center-ish, I would say. But you don't want to be doing that separate, knowing that there's only going to be 2 more stages left available for the opportunity to go for a res. And then after that, that's going to be gone. And you can see the last few seconds of stage 2 ticking down. So that's just going to give us 1 more stage. 1 minute and 40 seconds of time where you can actually play aggressively. So this is the final 1.5 minutes of aggressive play, and then it's time to actually be a little bit safe. Oh, it looks like our DC player was finally managed to get up and running, and is heading into some bit of safety. Everybody on their vehicles, yet nobody heading off towards one another just yet. So nothing major happening. As we're just tracking the movements of everyone. But this EMP zone is really going to be forcing a lot of players to come in from the southwest region. This could mean that things would start to hot up very soon, as the one MDR player that's left up and running is going to get spotted out here by FSA. They managed to get the knock onto Youngblood. I don't think they know that Youngblood is in a solo position, so Shadow R just taking the safe route across, should be able to get the flush as he makes that movement across. Sam who gets the finisher there, and that means we're still at 9 teams though, strangely enough, because Youngblood was quite separated from the rest of his team. Meanwhile, it's Rise into the mix. Dexter with the shots from range, but he's gonna get knocked as Honcho is making his way across with his teammate. Dexter gets to the some sort of safety, but Honcho is not allowing that to happen. Uses the vehicle reposition and knows that there's an opportunity to get the flush onto maybe 2. Meanwhile, Flowski takes out Princess, as action is happening elsewhere, but that's going to be action from range. Once more, Hancho really using these vehicles to his advantage, going for that not so deep but wraparound play in there, but ooh, that was a lot of damage coming through from the vehicle itself. And now the zone closing in. It's going to be stage 4 zone, which is going to now force everybody towards one another. You got 10 seconds where it's not going to hurt all that much, as FSA are trying to make a move across, as Rise have got control of the bridge with 2 of their teammates coming through here. This is going to be big open ground fights, as that's going to be a double knock. Honcho from inside the building with his teammates making that wraparound play. Traps is managing to get a knock himself. A Shadow R is going to be knocked there in the side. Can they get anything done? They're fighting in the midst of a stage 4 EMP zone, which is absolutely crazy. But so both teams, whichever one survives this, is going to be in a lot of hot water, as it's just going to be Sam who is left alive. But I mean, this is one of the most dangerous battles you can go for. Sam using those medikits to his advantage just to make sure he can stay and survive and fight within the stage 4 zone. But now takes a bit of tag damage. There's the wraparound. He's going to try to strafe back to some amount of safety, but that's nothing being doing. Meanwhile, we're going to switch across to TFO and VXE, who have been battling it out here. Both teams went for that early rotation towards the safe zone. As we can hear some nades raining in. VXE once more on that high ground. Want to get the lock onto TFO, who have decided to split up. Meanwhile, Joker gets a knock onto Do You Like It? There's a bit of extra cover being summoned in by VXE. Do You Like It raised up and returns the favor. So HJ and Rise in a battle themselves. That's going to be another knock. as we just watching these two teams just hold position for the time being. We'll switch across to what HJ is up to. Bucky in the middle of the river does spot out the three through the smoke cover, goes in with a bit of fire through the smoke, but now has been position been given away, not enough cover being provided from the boat, but he's going to try to get something done, and this is in the middle of the stage 4 EMP zone. So as you can see, those health bars are really starting to tick down, and this is, I think, pretty deep inside. Okay, fairly deep into the EMP zone. You just have to cross the river to get across. So both teams could be in a lot of danger. I mean, that's if Bucky can manage to survive this. He does manage to get a knock, but it's difficult. Do you like it trying to make that a bit of cover play? But I mean, Bucky using the cover that he actually has to great effect. I mean, this is not the best cover, shall we say. As medikit upon medikit is being used, these bandages being used. This is a stage 5 zone. Oh, the free fire comes in here. The play zone just takes out everybody, and this should be both teams just straight out of the mix, fighting deep in the EMP zone. And now we're heading into the final, what is it, 1, 2, 6 teams. And I've actually never seen the EMP zone close in around Mehran. This is the very first time for me, on stream at least. So Molly's coming through for a potential repositioning here, as MDR is trying to get the chase on. They do get the knock onto Lucio, but this EMP zone is going to be closing in into some flat land. This is going to make for an interesting battle. Repositioning in there, but the shots coming through from Street as Kakashi joining into the mix. Managed to get the knockout to Maestro. Miles now is going to be hunted out. Wants to try to get the res onto Lucho before anything can happen. Because, I mean, you know, you already lost one player in this particular engagement. Meanwhile, VXC could be heading straight towards Snipe Nation, or at least the duo left from Snipe Nation. But at the same time, you've got TFO making the movement across. The remainder of the Snipe Nation squads are in the mix as well. This is looking absolutely deadly. Meanwhile, oh, the drive through there as Creature gets taken out of the question. Meanwhile, MDR are still in a battle as Razor gets taken out by her son. Rain the bot has been knocked as Dre is trying to get something sorted out. I think it's Street in the front line. No, it's Kakashi in the front line who wants to get the finish off, as we just get to see that last pick off. It's just Lucho as Street is crawling up the hilltop to try to get that finisher off. Meanwhile, it's Snipe Nation up against Snipe Nation on the other side of the hill, and they finally managed to get that elimination. It was actually Crisis who took it out from range. Kakashi was knocked, but his teammates are close by to go in for the res. And now we're down to the final 3 teams. Oh, meanwhile, the action continuing here. And this is on the very edge of the MP zone. 2 players been knocked in there from well, one of the Snipe Nation squads, team number 6. Nade comes out from Ethan. He wants to try to cover up for something. He's going to try to raid that Nade storm in. Pika makes his way across as the play zone is taking down several. We're down to the last 8 players. Oh, but the Nade storm being rained in from Ethan. It was like the postman delivered on time. Ethan on point. This guy's been... I mean, I know he came in for this particular matchup as a sub, but, you know, amazing play from Ethan in this final game here on Rondo. And then there were 2. MDR up against Team 6's Snipe Nation, who have the high ground, but the EMP is not to their favor, so they're going to have this high ground advantage for the next 30 seconds, and no more than that. And then we're going to be heading into probably one of the flattest battles you're going to get to see, with 0 cover, or at least almost 0 cover, because the EMP zone's legitimately closing in this open space. There's hardly even any tree line covers there as well. As now both teams are slowly moving across. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, there is a bit of tree line cover. A bit. But as you can see, it's like that. It's a huge amount of open space in there. And things are changing as this EMP zone closes in. It's MDR who now have the territorial advantage. It's interesting to see what decisions Snipe Nation are going to be making. Summoning in some cover might be the best option for them right now as they're slowly making their way across. As we said, there wasn't much cover, so they're providing it, summoning some barriers and throwing out some smoke. Because this is a fight over some huge flatland. Though Dre using the vehicle just to draw out fire, because once you can give position away by doing that, but maybe staying a little bit too long as Ethan gets the knock onto Dre. But the chase is on still. Positional advantage changing once more as the MP zone tightening in. In the next 30 seconds, Ethan is making that play across here. Very aggressively through here. But the cover being provided from his teammates, there's a double knock. It's Kakashi and Dre, so it's just Street left alive in a 2v1 situation with Ethan in the front line. There's the nades coming through. They're going to try to hunt him down. Kakashi trying to crawl back towards his teammate. Is risking it for the res, because that could even things out in terms of the numbers advantage. Smoke cover being used from Ethan as he gets across. There's going to be Ethan who takes out Kakashi, who was trying to crawl that to a little bit of safety. Now using the cover itself for a little bit of high ground. MGR Street now going in with the play. There's the play zone that will force his teammate out as Street is going to be hunted out here. He's trying to get away. The play zone takes out Dre and his Ethan with a final pickoff, and most definitely not just a finisher, right? This guy's picked up massive totals of eliminations as well. 9. So it's Snipe Nation with the winner chicken dinner and 12 eliminations in this matchup. MDR Street finishing up in second with 6 elimination. The second, which would be Team 20, Snipe Nation with 5 eliminations in third. AK with 4 eliminations in 4th position. TFO 5th position with 1 elimination. VXC 9 eliminations in 6th. Rise with 5 eliminations in 7th. HJ with 2 eliminations in 8th. FSA with 1 elimination in 9th position. And KS with 2 eliminations in 10th position. We're going to head into the stars of the match. Going all out had to go to Ether. I was saying Ethan, but it's Ether. To Ether with 9 eliminations. Flowski with the best companion with a rescue and 3 assists. And well, we got to see the finisher there, which was Ether from Snipe Nation. So, well played to all the teams in the Ultimate Clan Rumble. Lobby B. Scores will be out on the respective WhatsApp groups. And if you haven't already, don't forget to press that like, share, and subscribe button. You really would be helping us out on the channel. And so this is Kalashnikov's Ultimate Clan Rumble. Thank you for tuning in to watch. It's a pleasure to cast for you as always. And from myself, Waylander, it's going to be goodbye and good night until we see you on